Hi, good evening. This is Vandana Gupta from VK Foundation, and a warm welcome to my panelists today. But I'm sure with all the rains that are happening in Mumbai, all that we are thinking of is a cup of tea and lots of pakodis. But we have two people who are with the food industry and may tell us that it's not the best of idea to have the oily pakodas and to drink too much tea, right? So, We Care Foundation is an organization supporting cancer patients emotionally, financially, and giving them as much information as possible for to make their journey as easy as it can be during this particular time. Let me start with Ritika, the youngster in the group. Ritika is from Surat and she's doing food and nutrition. Welcome, Ritika. And
Thank you.
it's been how many years since you finished your treatment?
It's been 2 years now. I've finished it.
Okay. And what would you like to start talking about first?
I would like to start with how I got diagnosed.
Okay. Please go ahead.
So, um, I was at my nanny's house, and my 12th vacation were going on. So, when I was about to come to my home that night, I felt something has been stuck in my throat. I thought that if I'll drink water, it will get better. But it didn't happen till 2 days, and then I went to the doctor, our family doctor, and I took medicines, but nothing felt better for me. Then after then on one day, when I woke up in the morning, I had slight pain in my left hand. So we decided to go for MD. And that day he was little confused because I was coughing very much. And the feeling of stucking was very increased by that day. So he gave some medicines and he suggested some tests like urine test, blood test, and sonography. All did this happened, and he then told that we should go for CT scan because he was not really sure about what has happened to me. Then uh, we got the CT scan done, and the report said that it is a tumor, and for knowing which tumor it is, we need to do biopsy. From that day, when the CT scans report came, we, our whole family got very disturbed, very shocked, and then after the biopsy, uh, my health became worse. Muj- I had lot of pain on my neck, and till that day, when we shifted to Mumbai, I was not on any medicines, and the pain worsened day by day. So when we moved to Mumbai, we uh, saw a lot of doctors, but then we ended up at Tata, and I was completely unaware of these whole things. Like 15 days, my family lied to me that what has happened to me. I kept on asking them, but nobody told me the truth, and I was very confused till then. Then on one day when we were going back to our home in Mumbai, my uncle got call, and he told somebody that मेरी भतीजी को कैंसर डिटेक्ट हुआ है. The moment I heard those words, I started crying. I cried a lot, but then my family convinced me that so I believe that होगा, family बोल रही है तो then after some days, when doctor called me in their cabin and I asked him, कि मुझे क्या हुआ है, मुझे बताओ. He told me that you have lymphoma cancer, and from that day my whole life changed.
Ritika, one thing before we proceed with more things for you, maybe you can have a glass of water. And I also want to tell you that I also had Hodgkin's lymphoma. So maybe
Oh,
all of us are in the same boat, some cancer or the other. And I'm sure we'll all fight out and be the strong people, you know. It's not how strong you are or how well you fight or something. It's how your strength lies in the fact that you're able to overcome something, and that is the more important thing. So, while you have a glass of water, Prachi, can I ask you about your checkup and diagnosis? Were you in India? I know you are based in Dubai and you are a well-renowned chef there. And so, you know, like moving from Bombay to Dubai, all this happened, or you were already living in Dubai. And I know you have a slide to show some, you know, about a journey about you. So would you like to show that slide? You're on mute.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, I've been living in Dubai for a long time, around 7 years now. But I used to run marathons way before cancer happened. I was actually gearing up for my second marathon. I trained 8 months for that marathon. I was really looking forward for the marathon. 15 days before the marathon, I slipped on the pavement and fell down. And I couldn't run my marathon because I injured my knee. Since I injured my knee, I had taken 4 days leave for a 42 kilometers run. I couldn't do the run, so I said, okay, might as well do a health checkup because I have these 4 days, and it's very rare that you have 4 days and you're still in Dubai. Otherwise, usually, since we're expats, we move out, we travel, etc. So I went for a health checkup, and a day before I went to the gynac, I realized I felt a huge lump at the size of a tennis ball. And I don't know how I never noticed it earlier, but I just noticed it then. And the moment I noticed it, I went to the GP, I showed it to her. She directed me to the surgeon, and then a biopsy was done. Now, for biopsy, the ones who don't know, they insert a needle and they get the tissue out, right, to check whether your cell is benign or malignant. Malignant meaning it can have cancer. So when the biopsy was done, it was benign. And in fact, the surgeon gave me an option that, it's common for women to have lumps due to hormones. So do you want to remove it? And I said, yeah, I'm not going to keep any kind of a lump in my body, whether it's benign or it is malignant, I need to get it out. So I got operated and I got the lump out. By the time when I was supposed to go in for checking the stitches from the lump, that's the time when the surgeon said, your biopsy reports have come from the lump that was sent out and it is cancer. So then I said, okay, now what am I supposed to do? Because I'm confused now. So then he said, okay, now this is out of my hands. You need to move to an oncologist and a specialist who deals in breast cancer surgery. So from then until the first chemo started, it was a matter of just 1 month from the day he told me that my cells have been malignant, it's cancer, until I was on chemo. In 1 month, it was a very short time, and I was in denial because I couldn't believe it. When I went for scans after that, I thought again the doctors are going to tell me, oops, I think it's a mistake and you don't have cancer now. So it was a mental joke for me, that one day somebody tells me you have cancer, one day somebody tells me you don't have cancer. So
Can we see the first slide that we
yeah, we can move to that slide. So this slide, the first one, was basically for me to tell the world that I'm going through a disease, but I have a drawer that is full of sunshine and it will change everything. So this was my way to tell my loved ones that it was like an announcement to tell my people that, okay, I'm going through this disease.
Okay, and then you moved on to the snake and ladder?
Yeah, that was during the chemotherapy.
Okay.
So this has been, you have one good day, and then the second day you are back to zero. So this has been my mental health ever since 2021, when somebody told me that you have a lump, whether it's benign or it's malignant. This was my mental state.
Okay, Ritika, there are many patients who they don't live in Mumbai and they have to come and stay in Mumbai. And the hardest thing for them is to find accommodation and then to be comfortable in the accommodation that they have found and to get the food that they want. Fortunately, you were lucky that you were staying with your grandmother. And so everything must have been taken care of. But at the same time, moving from a smaller city in comparison to Mumbai and coming from Surat to Mumbai, what were the thoughts that were going into your mind? One was the confusion that you had cancer, and then what? So what else were you thinking about?
I was thinking about that. That was my moment that I need to take admissions in colleges, where rest of my friends were taking admissions in colleges. And I thought that what am I doing? I'm taking admission in uh, India's biggest cancer hospital. That thought was very painful for me, because that is the age where uh, जहाँ पे बहुत देखा देखी होती है फ्रेंड्स के बीच में, अरे फ्रेंड ये कर रहा है मैं क्यों नहीं कर पा रही. सो दैट वाज माय एज देयर. So this was the feeling, and the most important question was, where will I stay at Mumbai? So I stayed at my sister's home, and I feel very blessed for that, because staying in Mumbai is not easy. So I got that. I feel like a blessing. And many thoughts like same, what about my studies? I will have to live here for 7 months away from my home in Surat, away from my family. How will I manage? All these things were playing in my head continuously for so many days. But then somehow, yeah.
Yeah, carry on.
But then somehow I managed. I looked on to others in the hospital, that how strongly they are fighting, how courageously they are fighting. Then it gave me some courage, and I fought the rest of the battle for the 7 months without going back to my home.
So was this admission into Tata Memorial Hospital, the world's Asia's largest cancer hospital, also one of the greatest learning space for you, because you
It
became
was. It was. I am feeling grateful that I had this opportunity, and it taught me very, 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 very much big lessons of life, which getting admission in college is far more better than getting admissions in college.
So you thought that, learning from the hospital and the experience there,
Yeah, I learned so much.
which you learned a lot and which was probably more than what you are learning in your university. So we'll talk about the college little later. Back to Prachi, please. And Prachi, tell me something, I'm sure that in your kitchen, you have to be extremely organized. All your ingredients need to be measured properly and kept properly, and, like everything to the hilt. And here you have cancer. And then, so were you as organized in planning your cancer treatment or your life during treatment? Or how did you manage all that?
The only thing I think I planned was my diet. I switched to a very healthy diet. I think we abuse our body a lot. Cancer taught me not to abuse my body, and I switched to a full of nutrition diet that my surgeon suggested. I started having dates and prunes, which I would not regularly have. I switched to cold pressed oils, which was the most important thing, and I started reading ingredients this time. This was the first time in my life that I was reading the ingredients of the packets that I buy from outside. So many times you just hold a biscuit in your hand and you pop it in your mouth, but you never end up reading it. So now cancer taught me to read the ingredients that go inside it. And then the other planning that I did was I was very sure that I'm not going to see myself going bald after chemo, because I'm not going to see myself losing hair and going through that phase, you know. I went after my first chemo myself to the salon and I got a razor cut, which was extremely tiny. And I said, no, I'm going to be one step ahead of cancer, you know. So, in fact, I would recommend that to everyone, because you get the time to transition into going bald rather than you losing chunks and then crying every day and feeling bad about it. So that was the other planning that I did.
So let me tell you something. You know, when I lost my hair first time after my chemotherapy, I always used to think that I had a very thin growth of hair. But the first day that I lost my hair, you know, I had a small dustbin and it was totally full of hair. And I was crying and I was thinking unnecessarily, you know, I would say that I have thin hair. Imagine, and I still have hair left after that dustbin being full. So I didn't want to cut off any part of my hair. Even on the last day of my chemotherapy, I had a single strand of hair, which I held on to. It was like my, you know, saving grass, that, you know, I have still one hair left. And it was literally one hair which was left over after all the chemotherapies.
Yeah.
So Ritika, tell me something. When did you decide to join? I mean, start on food and nutrition? Was it your cancer treatment which made you think about nutrition, or what is it that made you, or were you always wanting to be a nutritionist?
Yeah, cancer made me to think about taking food science and nutrition because I wanted to do something for cancer patients. So I decided to be a dietitian in uh, cancer hospital. So that is when I decided to take this course.
So are you following or implementing all this on yourself also?
Not now.
No. So how will you tell the patients what to eat if you're not going to do it for yourself? Prachi,
I
she's reading all the ingredients. So have you started doing something like that?
No, I am enjoying right now. I'm eating whatever I like to eat.
Okay. So unlike Prachi, all your days are cheat days, and Prachi is only very regularly doing what she should be doing. And once in a while, maybe having a cheat day, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Prachi, tell me something. You could not run your marathon because of your problem, but you decided to test all the doctors. So you had different doctors for your mastectomy, ovaries, fallopian tubes, or it was the same doctor, or you decided that, you know, now I'll see whether this doctor is competent or not and the other is competent or not.
No, so I would, fortunately for me, the surgeon who told me that I have a lump, the one who had done the wrong biopsy, he himself gave me the contact number of the oncologist that I ended up with. She is one of the best doctors in UAE. And when I told her my case, that I have already been operated on and now time is moving fast and I need to move because it's already, we have already, you know, partly operated on cancer. So she understood the severity of the problem and she took me in straight away in 1 month, which is the reason she put me on the chemo, and she herself directed me to another surgeon who dealt with breast surgeries. And the one who dealt with me for my ovaries was another gynecologist. So there were two different specialists, but everybody from the same hospital or the same branch, as you might call it.
Yeah. So did you have a better communication with one in comparison to the other, or each one was equally good and competent?
No, they were equally good, but I did learn one thing out of my experience of misdiagnosis. If I ever go to a doctor, I will read about his biodata before I go.
What makes you say that?
Because I see what are his specialties, I see where he has worked, I see what are his experience levels. Because in the current hospital that I go to, you get to see the doctor's details. So if somebody is dealing with gastric issues, then it will be detailed mentioned as to in what part of gastric issues the doctor is specializing in. Does it relate to the issues that you have? So I look it up now.
Okay. And that is helpful, you feel?
Of course, because it makes you stop running around to 10 doctors unnecessarily. You hit the right person who knows the right thing and does the right treatment for you.
So there was something else which is a fairly new thing which was found with you, was a genetic mutation. Uh, did it have very too many side effects on your mental state because of knowing that you had genetic mutations, or does it play on your mind, or are you okay with it now? You've been explained everything.
I was explained to this because I was too young to get breast cancer. So the doctor suggested genetic test, and people have different genetic issues. So I was detected with BRCA2, which affects younger women, and then there is BRCA1 that affects older women. So I was suggested that my entire family gets checked as well, so that they know which lineage does it come from, and it's actually from my father's side, because he had his mother, his sister, etc. It runs. So BRCA2 affects women in the way for breast cancer and ovarian cancer. Ovarian cancer after the age of 45, once you hit the normal, natural menopausal age. You also have a risk of pancreatic cancer. In case of men, it is the prostate cancer and the breast cancer as well.
Okay. So, Ritika, what did you feel about the communication skills with the doctor? Were you able to talk to the doctors because you were old enough to talk? Or did you keep quiet and just listen to whatever you were being told? So, how did it go?
I never asked any questions to my doctor because wasn't in that state. I just asked a single question on the very first day that क्या मैं ठीक हो जाऊंगी ना? And he said 99% your cancer is treatable. And I thought, then what about that 1%? Why isn't he giving any guarantee of that 1%? Then slowly and gradually, when I came close to finish my treatment, I came to know that that 1% was actually in my hands and not in his, because 99% treatment is doing the things for curing me, and that 1% is up to on me. So I can make that 99% to 100% by my will, by my strength, and by my courage. So I need to build them on. And I can make that 99% to that 0% if I fail to build my will, courage, and strength to fight with the cancer.
Hmm. You know something, it's interesting because when I was diagnosed with cancer, I asked my doctor, what are the chances? He said 50%. I said, 50%. So he said, yeah, because, just about a week back, there was an air crash which has happened in a flight coming from Ahmedabad to Mumbai. And 50% of the people had survived and 50 had passed away. So he said, imagine that you are in an aircraft and 50% have survived. So the chances are 50%. All that you have to work towards is that you fall in the 50% who survive. So now how you do that is your problem. What I can do, I will do, but the rest is your problem. So it's almost the same thing, but fortunately you were given 1% and I was given 50%. So it was a tougher deal for me too, but I was much older than you also. So tell me something, after your treatment was over, Prachi, and how was your support treatment all through? How were they affected by the whole thing? And how did you keep yourself fit?
The post treatment.
Yeah.
Post treatment, I had two options for breast cancer. I was supposed to be on monthly injections that stops my hormones, and I was supposed to take a pill every day that again stops my hormones, because I don't think people know that why women are so prone to breast cancer is because of the same hormones that are being produced by a woman's body in excess causes breast cancer. So this was one of the reasons why I was keen on getting my ovaries removed. In fact, I got it done 3 months after my radiation, the surgeon gave me the green light that once you finish 3 months, your body starts recovering from all the chemo, surgery, etc. You can get the ovaries removed. If I wouldn't have my ovaries removed, I would be taking injections until I hit the non-natural menopausal age. And then again, you're still at the risk of getting ovarian cancer. So, which is the reason I decided to go ahead straight away for the surgery. I would not wait. Again, staying one step ahead of the time of the disease. And then I take pills every day, which are just tiny pills, and calcium medicines, because your body is thrown into menopause, which means your body doesn't produce hormones to make your bones strong. So you need all the calcium and magnesium that you need. And me, honestly, I love sports. So for me, my bones are the most important thing for them to remain strong. So this is my post-recovery at the moment.
So what is it that you love best in sports? I know you're talking about strong bones. I know you were running a marathon earlier. But besides marathon, is there any other sport that you practice?
I go for boxing.
Okay.
Yeah. The boxing, I was told not to do boxing until an year, which is supposed to be this May. I was supposed to start boxing. But because I have both my breasts removed, I had 7 lymph nodes removed from my arm. I'm prone to lymphedema, which means my lymph nodes don't supply lymph fluid, which functions your normal arm. I'm prone to swelling, of the arm, because it's like taking a part of my body out, so it doesn't function, right? There's a break to the fluid. It stops somewhere. So the doctor told me that it'll take time. She advised me take 1 year, see how your body recovers, and then you start. But honestly, a month after my radiation ended, with everything being burnt and sore and everything, and I woke up and I said, you know what? I don't know if I'm alive after 1 year. Who's going to wait until then? I called up my coach and I said, Coach, I'm coming back tomorrow. I said, let's go ahead and we will practice. That's how I started off. I said, I'm not waiting for next year.
So then you started doing the marathon also after that?
I haven't done a marathon yet, but I started my boxing. I like badminton, I go for boxing,
So
etc.
Ritika, you and I have to be careful because we don't know when Prachi likes to practice a boxing with us, right? So Prachi, can we see some of your slides that you have there?
Yeah, sure. We can move to the next one. So this was, I started talking a lot about cancer on my Instagram page because movies don't tell you anything. And especially I concentrated on my kind of cancer, which was breast cancer, of course. This was me talking about my genetic mutation, where you can see that all humans have, they are blessed with DNA that has a BRCA gene. BRCA gene helps you to fight tumors. And you can move to the next one. So about 1 in 400 have BRCA gene mutated, where you can see the red, the broken, where it's the DNA that is broken, which causes the genes not to fight the tumor naturally, which is the reason the cancer can come back if you have a BRCA2. And my page also says that I have a 50% chance that I can pass it on to an offspring, or it might even skip generations. And 1 out of 400 people get affected with BRCA2, roughly, as per the statistics. So that is the reason I started drawing about it. Because people would ask me, like, why you removed your ovaries? Why do you have to take injections? But these are the reasons why I have to do it. We can move to the next one as well. I started drawing about the effects of chemotherapy. And this is the one that I've printed it on a t-shirt. And it says, Chaila Saga Kadu means everything tastes bitter in Marathi, because I'm a Maharashtrian. So that is actually me on the t-shirt. I drew myself like a self-portrait. And you can see, you can compare it to my face. That's just me. So I used to wear this t-shirt and move about.
Okay.
This one is, the doctor told me that you will lose your breasts, and do you want to do reconstruction? Because losing breasts is a very tough decision. Although one of my breasts was not affected by cancer, but I decided to get rid of it so that it reduces my chances of getting cancer back. And I told her, I don't feel bad about it. I don't even want to do a reconstruction. I don't need to wear a sports bra anymore. I should be happy about it. So this was my reaction.
Okay.
The hormones, they went off. Every time I would go on a run, I can literally squeeze water out from my headgear or my headband. I was sweating so much. I still do. So this was me actually telling the world that you think that cancer treatment only cures you of cancer, but there are a lot of other things that it brings along with it. This was one of the things.
So in Dubai, being with water would have been a big thing, no? Like,
In the summer, it's even more. This was during radiation because people don't know the intent of radiation. I did not know what radiation is. I had to Google it out when the time came for me to get into radiations. And my skin started burning, and I just again wanted to tell the world that these are the symptoms, these are the after effects of radiation or cancer treatment.
so I'm sure you had a very tough time, but I'm glad that you were able to put it all on drawing so that, at least they always say art is an expression which takes out your feelings a lot. So I'm glad that was the medium that you found to talk about your innermost thoughts.
My reason for drawing was when I would talk to people on the phone, they would think the world is perfect, everything is rosy, she talks well, everything is fine, but they don't know what happens on the other hand, on the other side of the phone. So this was my way of telling people that even if you hear when somebody tells you that they're fine, they're not necessarily fine.
Yeah.
So this drawing was hormones, menopausal women, they start putting on weight, not all maybe, but maybe some. So I also started putting on weight because of the steroids and the medicines that were given to me. And of course, my periods stopped. And then my ovaries were not functioning anymore. So you get a belly from the hormones.
So Pranchi, tell me something, your thoughts on marriage.
I'm married. My husband is here with me.
Okay. And he was okay when you had your cancer treatment, you never felt any neglect from him or anything?
Not at all. He was there throughout. He has been my biggest support.
Okay, that's very good because, it's nice to hear that because many people we hear, especially for breast cancer, that they would desert their wives and, like.
Yes, I've heard, yes.
Yeah, so I'm glad about that. Now,
This, yeah, sorry. This last photo was you get tired by the end of the day, even after your treatment is done. So this was me. I'm always dead by the night. So there's no late night partying for me. I'm sorry.
Okay, Ritika, now over to you. Tell us about your hobbies, about your future plans, about your wanting to get married, about late night parties, everything.
Okay, so my hobbies are painting, and this started in the very month when I was taking chemotherapy. And can you show the painting?
Yeah, sure.
So this was the drawing I did, and it shows the start of the journey to the end of my journey uh, when I entered Tata and when I uh, leave Tata. So when I entered Tata, my feeling was I was very uncomfortable and I was in so much pain. And whenever I drive from my home to Tata, I just thought one thing, that when will I go home back? This was the only thing. And then at my last day of the treatment, and when I was leaving Tata, I I uh, I looked back at the hospital, and I don't know, I had tears in my eyes that this hospital was home for me for the entire 7 months. And I got very emotional. So this is the painting of my whole 7 months. It includes everything, every pain, every joy of those months. And then I dance I do nail art. I do baking. I run a small baking business, and I am learning video editing now. So these are my hobbies.
Very good. You seem to be multifaceted with so many things. So was all this before your cancer, or is it the cancer which made you, motivated you to do all these nice things?
It is cancer.
It is cancer.
It motivated me very much. I was completely different person before cancer. I was a very shy girl. I was a very quiet girl, and I was a crybaby. Yeah, cancer made me very strong.
Oh, so then when I say that you really went to a good university, I think
Yeah,
Tata was a great thing. Huh?
yeah.
And I think you met Ankita, one of the We Care volunteers over there, and you learned some things with her, or you taught her some things.
No, we just had a little conversation about I wanted to showcase my letter, which I wrote a letter on my cancer. So I went there at the VCare's office, and we just had a little conversation over there, and then we came in contact.
Okay, nice. And now, what are your thoughts on marriage?
I am engaged
Wow,
and will be marrying in this year.
congratulations. And does your fiancé know about your cancer journey?
Yeah, he
And
knows
he,
about.
and did he or his family have anything about to say about it?
No, they are accepting me the way I am.
So that's a really great thing, because I think stories like this should really be highlighted. Somebody like you who had cancer at a young age, got cured, and studied, and now is planning to get married, is actually engaged. Congratulations for that. And somebody like Prachi, who's married and whose husband has been her pillar of support, because these relationships matter a lot, especially during your cancer journey. So I think. Kudos to both your fiancé and your husband for the great thing that they have done, because it has really, I'm sure people who are hearing your story will be really motivated to know that there are such strong men living in society and equally strong women, who have chosen to be what they are and doing what they are doing. So, Prachi, any message that you would like to give to the patients, like how to go about it, what they should continue to do? A diet you already mentioned. Anything else that you would like to talk?
I think we just ignore our health in the form of you have any symptoms, you just try to go with your first line of medicines. I think we should look more deeply into any kind of symptoms that you get, and you should think that it can happen to anybody. Cancer doesn't give you a lot of time. It can just creep out of the blue when you're not expecting it. So you should take your health seriously. Don't abuse your body. Your body is your vehicle. Your brain controls your body. If you have the body, you can do anything. So the diet, of course, I think I don't know what I did in my past years before cancer, but I moved to a pretty healthy diet. I don't abuse my body anymore. And exercise is what kept me fit. Exercise is what kept me motivated and going. One thing that I would also like to tell is my husband and me, we divided our 16 chemotherapy sessions into a 16-mile race. So we assumed that it would be a marathon. A marathon by the end of the last 5 miles are always difficult for you, right? So when we would finish one chemo, we would think like, 15 more to go, because that's how you run. So then when you have the last three, you're like, three more to go, then two more to go, and then one, because that's the only language that I can understand. So yeah, that is the only thing that I would like to say.
So, was there anybody who gave you like a negative thought during your cancer treatment?
Oh, people come up with weird stories. I stopped listening to people, and because somebody asked me to keep my medicines facing in one direction.
Oh,
Somebody asked me to move to an alternative medicine, which I'm not saying that alternative medicine doesn't work, but in my case here in Dubai, it doesn't work. If I was back home, probably it would help, but I'm not getting the kind of support here, right? So that is out of question for me. And all these come from people who don't have cancer, which is the funniest part, So the moment people started giving me advice, I would either hang up the phone or I would tell them, do you have cancer to speak to me? If not, then let's just stop.
Exactly. And Ritika, your take-home message for people.
Sorry, can you please repeat the question?
What is a message that you would like to give to people? How to cope with their disease and what they should do and
Yeah. I want to share one experience of mine. I was driving from hospital to my home one day, and uh, I met a driver. Means I was in Ola, and the driver also had somebody in his family who had cancer. So we talked about all those things, and my mother suddenly asked the driver that इसकी कभी कोई बुरी आदत नहीं थी, पता नहीं हम सब एक जैसा खाना खाते हैं, सबकी एक ही लाइफस्टाइल है पूरे घर में, फिर इसी को क्यों हुआ? The driver replied that, and I realized the most confused state of my mind was कि we all have that. From day one, we all have that one question in mind, that why me? So I had that question till that moment when I met the driver uncle. He said that it is because that God has the faith in this child than us. She is the chosen one of God. God had trust that she can fight, she can move the mountain. That's why she is here fighting with cancer and not us. The moment he said that, I realized the thing that it may be the driver uncle, maybe God sent angel for me, because I had this question every day arising in my mind, that why me? I have never done something wrong. So and I uh, and I learned that what actually realization means opening up of all senses. I felt that in that very moment. So I want to say that uh, cancer is not uh, cancer is a blessing to you if you have it, and it was a blessing to me as it changed my whole life in a very positive way. So if you have it, don't be ashamed of it, proudly bear it, proudly carry it, and you have the whole world in front of you. You have to show that you are strong, you have to show that you are very courageous to fight with the cancer and win your life.
Ritika, who's your favorite singer?
I don't have any such favorite singer.
No, I thought you were fond of singing.
No,
No? No, you have to tell me whether you're fond of singing or not.
no, I'm not fond of singing.
Which is your favorite song?
My favorite song is uh, Ruk Jana Nahi.
Okay, will
From
you sing a line for me? Line or two?
Okay. So this song was very favorite of mine for the rest of the 7 months. Whenever I was in so much pain, or whenever I was fed up of all the treatment, going to for me. I used to sing this. साथी न कारवा है, ये तेरा इम्तिहान है, साथी न कारवा है, ये तेरा इम्तिहान है, यूं ही चला चल दिल के सहारे, करती है मंजिल तुझको इशारे, देख कहीं कोई रोक नहीं ले तुझको पुकार के, ओ राही ओ राही ओ राही ओ राही, रुक जाना नहीं तू कहीं हार के, कांटों पे चल के मिलेंगे साए बाहर के.
Very good, very good. And Prachi, I believe you enjoy singing too, right?
No,
You'd like to hear?
I don't. I don't. I don't. But I used to dance, but it was my kind of dance that you dance once and then you will not dance like that again. I started doing the Macarena when doctor told me to exercise for the mastectomy. I was supposed to exercise my arms, you know.
So can you
So
give me a sample of that?
yeah, so then I used to start doing the Macarena dance. I did not know the lyrics. I still don't know the lyrics, but I would put on the YouTube and I would dance like that. It goes because it uses all your hands like this. The song. So I would do it at home.
So perfect exercise for you, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Jyoti, can we have the 2 slides that Prachi has, which we can see?
So this was the race, the 16-mile race that I was telling you about. This is how my husband and me, we divided our cancer treatment. And by the end of it, the only thing that was on my mind is cake, cake, cake. And by the second last one, you can say it says in pain, but I will disco.
So the cake was made by you?
No, I bought it and I celebrated it with all the department in chemotherapy.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Any other slide?
I think there is the last two.
The last one.
Yeah, this one was, if you look at, this was my husband, he was sleeping. This is art is something I continued doing during my cancer treatment. I draw with watercolors and I like to draw live. So I draw anything right from my betadine mouthwash to anything that comes up my way. So this was the drawing that I wanted to show. And then the next one is, these are actually angel wings. I made this for my surgeon. I think I got through most of my treatment because of my angel, which was in human form. That was my surgeon.
Okay. That's a very nice way of saying thank you to the doctors who really do so much. And I mean,
Yeah.
this is the pain of the patient, but at the same time, they need to be positive to make the patient feel good. And sometimes they know that things are going wrong and still they work hard and work with a cheer. And I think that is what is important as far as we are concerned. So on behalf of WeCare, I would like to thank you, Prachi, and you, Ritika, for all the time that you've spent with us and all the sharing that you've done with us, because, it's very difficult to open your feelings and share what you've gone through when at such a traumatic time. And I know it's kind of difficult to talk about it, but those emotions keep lying in your background somewhere. But I can tell you that, listening to both of you, all my thoughts came back to me. And I was thinking of how we coped and how we did. Like when you said, people will tell you all negative things. And it so happened that the day prior to my chemotherapy, somebody would ring me up and say, chemotherapy mein aisa hota hai, waisa hota hai, ye hota hai, wo hota hai. So it was like, you're going for chemotherapy next day and you're hearing all this. And that gives you a feeling that you may not even come back after taking the chemotherapy because there are so many negative things that happen. And like you said, I had started telling people that I don't want to talk to anybody who's not a cancer patient about cancer because you don't know anything about it and you're just scaring me for no reason at all. So many such things. And I think all of us share a common bond about the feelings and about our journey. And so thanks once again. And thank you very much, Ritika. Prachi, keep in touch. And if there's any patient who needs some encouragement, maybe we can ask them to get in touch with you. Thank you.
Of course, anytime. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.